Imagine standing at the edge of a door, one that leads to the relationship you've always wanted with the man you truly desire. But something is holding you back. It's not your looks, your intelligence, or even your accomplishments. It's something far more insidious. Something you've been conditioned to see as a virtue, rather than a flaw, your pride. Pride tells you that you're the prize, that you shouldn't have to chase, that male desire is beneath you, and that domesticity is oppression. But what if that pride is the very thing standing between you and the love you claim to want? In today's dating landscape, women have more access to high-value men than ever before. Social media, dating apps, and networking opportunities make it easier to connect with the kind of partners they dream of. Yet, so many remain single, frustrated, and disillusioned. Why? Because pride distorts reality, convinces women they have endless time, and makes them reject the very traits that would make them irresistible to the men they desire. This isn't about shaming women. It's about exposing the self-sabotaging beliefs that keep them from the relationships they claim to want. If you're tired of waiting for love to just happen, if you're frustrated by men who won't commit, or if you secretly fear that your standards might be working against you, then this is for you. Let's break down the 3 ways pride is sabotaging your love life and what you can do about it. Women are often told they're the prize in dating, but this belief ignores the reality of sexual market values SMV dynamics. A woman's SMV peaks in her early 20s and declines with age, while a man's SMV often rises with resources, status, and maturity. Pride convinces women they have unlimited time, leading them to waste their most fertile and attractive years on casual relationships or career pursuits instead of securing commitment. Historically, women were the ones who pursued men because they were on a biological timeline. Modern dating culture has tricked women into thinking men should do all the work. Yet social media now gives women unprecedented access to high-value men. If you're single and unhappy about it, pride is the reason you won't take action. You expect love to fall into your lap instead of making it a priority. Many women act offended by male desire, as if attraction should be based solely on personality or intellect. The truth, without sexual attraction, most men would have little reason to engage with women. They get emotional and social fulfillment more easily from male friendships. Instead of resenting male desire, women should see it as an opportunity, a gateway to deeper connection. Modern women often view cooking, cleaning, and nurturing as beneath them, associating these acts with oppression rather than power. High-value men don't commit to women who offer nothing but beauty, which fades, or a paycheck, which they already have, or being useful. Whether through emotional support, homemaking, or partnership, is the key to securing and keeping a high-value man. Pride is cold comfort. It won't keep you warm at night, and it won't get you the love you deserve. The question is, are you ready to let go of the ego that's holding you back? Or will you cling to it as the years pass you by? The choice is yours. But if you want love, it's time to swallow your pride and start playing the game to win. One of the most damaging lies modern women have been sold is the idea that they are intrinsically the prize in dating, that their worth is fixed, unconditional, and immune to the realities of time, biology, and the sexual marketplace. This belief is not just wrong, it's dangerous. The myth of eternal value from adolescence. Women are told they're special, that men should compete for them, and that their value is inherent rather than circumstantial. While this may feel empowering in the short term, it ignores a brutal truth. Sexual market values SMV is not static. It fluctuates based on age, fertility, and societal demand. For women, SMV peaks early, typically in their late teens to mid-20s when youth, beauty, and fertility are at their highest. After 30, the average woman's SMV begins a gradual decline, while the average man's SMV increases as he gains resources, status, and stability. This isn't sexist. It's evolutionary biology. Men are wired to seek fertility and vitality, while women are wired to seek security and capability. Yet pride convinces women that they are the exception, that they'll always be desirable, that men will always chase them, and that they have all the time in the world to wait for the right one. This delusion leads to wasted years spent in unserious relationships, prioritizing career over family, or holding out for a fantasy man who doesn't exist. The consequences of the "I'm the prize" mentality, passivity in dating women who believe that the prize often refuse to initiate, assuming men should pursue them. But high-value men, HVMs, have options. They won't chase indefinitely. The unrealistic standards. Pride inflates egos to the point where women dismiss good men for trivial reasons, believing someone better is always around the corner. A wasted fertility, the harsh truth. A woman's most valuable dating asset, her ability to have healthy children, has an expiration date. Pride keeps women from acknowledging this until it's too late. The reality check, being the prize, isn't a birthright. It's a temporary advantage. The women who win in the long term are those who recognize their SMV peak and use it strategically to secure commitment before their leverage fades. If you're still single past 30 and wondering why men aren't committing like they used to, ask yourself, has my pride been lying to me? Because the truth is, the clock is ticking, and no amount of ego will turn back time. Pride convinces women that making the first move is beneath them, that if a man is truly interested, he'll pursue them relentlessly. This mindset might have worked in an era when women had limited options and men were socially pressured to marry young, but today's dating landscape operates differently. High-value men, especially those in their 30s and beyond, are in no rush to commit. They're focused on building their careers, enjoying their freedom, and filtering through the abundance of women available to them. The idea that a high-status man will chase a woman who gives him nothing but indifference is pure fantasy. Modern dating requires strategy, not just passive waiting. Social media and dating apps have given women unprecedented access to elite men. You can literally message a millionaire, athlete, or CEO with a single click. Yet most women won't, because pride tells them that initiating is desperate or unfeminine. Meanwhile, the women who do reach out, who send that first DM, who suggest the coffee date, who make their interest clear without playing games, are the ones who end up in relationships with the men others only fantasize about. The refusal to initiate isn't about preserving dignity, it's about protecting ego. Women will complain about being single for years rather than send a simple, "Hey, I'd love to get to know you" text. They'll watch their dream man marry someone else while telling themselves, "If he wanted me, he would have made a move." But here's the uncomfortable truth: men are human, not mind readers. They get tired of rejection, they miss signals, and they often assume a woman isn't interested if she doesn't show active enthusiasm. Pride keeps women waiting for a pursuit that may never come, while the men they want are choosing women who had the confidence to step forward. The sexual marketplace rewards action, not arrogance. If you want a high-value relationship, you have to be willing to do what other women won't. And that starts with swallowing your pride and making the first move. Many women today view male sexuality as something crude, shallow, or even threatening, an inconvenient obstacle to be managed rather than the very foundation of romantic connection. This disdain stems from pride, which whispers that a man should value you for your intellect, accomplishments, or personality alone, as if physical attraction were some primitive flaw in an otherwise enlightened courtship process. But this attitude ignores biological reality. Without sexual chemistry, most men would have little motivation to pursue relationships at all. The cold truth is that male desire is the gateway through which everything else, emotional intimacy, commitment, even love, becomes possible. When women treat that desire with contempt, they sever the bridge before they've even crossed it. Consider how often women shame men for being visually stimulated, as if finding a woman's body attractive were some moral failing rather than hardwired instinct. They dismiss compliments about their appearance as objectification. Then wonder why conversations fizzle into polite detachment. They interpret a man's sexual interest as proof he doesn't see their true worth, never considering that his attraction is what made him look for that worth in the first place. This prideful rejection of natural masculine impulses creates a paradox. Women want to be chosen, but resent the reasons men choose. They demand commitment while scorning the biological drives that motivate men to commit. The result: men either walk away entirely or learn to hide their desires behind a facade of platonic niceness, leaving women to complain about mixed signals or lack of spark. Worse still, this dynamic pushes men toward women who embrace, rather than judge, their sexuality, women who understand that passion isn't the enemy of respect, but its prerequisite. The women who thrive in relationships aren't those who police male desire, but those who harness it, recognizing that a man's attraction is the raw material from which devotion is forged. This doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or reducing yourself to a sexual object. It means acknowledging that physical connection isn't beneath you. It's the bedrock. When you stop seeing male sexuality as a threat to your dignity and start seeing it as the key to your power, you gain the ability to shape relationships on your terms rather than clinging to prideful ideals that leave you alone. The modern disdain for domesticity represents one of pride's most self-defeating illusions. Many women today recoil at the idea of cooking a meal, organizing a home, or nurturing children, as if these were relics of oppression, rather than timeless expressions of love and partnership. This attitude stems from a fundamental misunderstanding, interpreting service as subjugation, rather than recognizing it as the silent language of devotion that has bound families together across centuries. The reality is that high-value men don't commit long-term to women who contribute nothing but fleeting beauty and a paycheck. They seek partners who enhance their lives in tangible, daily ways. Women who transform houses into homes, who create sanctuaries from life's chaos, who understand that true power lies not in rejecting traditional femininity, but in mastering it. Consider the irony. The same women who balk at folding a man's laundry will spend decades obediently serving corporate bosses for mediocre salaries, mistaking wage slavery for empowerment. They've been conditioned to view domestic skills as beneath their intellect, while ironically diminishing their own leverage in relationships. A beautiful 25-year-old might attract a wealthy man, but if she brings nothing beyond her looks to the table, why would he stay when her beauty fades? The women who secure lasting commitment are those who offer irreplaceable value, who can turn a stressful day into comfort with a home-cooked meal, who organize lives with effortless grace, who nurture not out of obligation, but as an art form. This isn't about reverting to 1950s gender roles. It's about recognizing that relationships thrive on complementary strengths. Just as a man proves his worth by providing and protecting, a woman proves hers by creating harmony and warmth, not because she must, but because she understands these are the currencies of love that never depreciate. The pride that prevents women from embracing domesticity is the same pride that leaves them wondering why men won't commit, never grasping that what they dismiss as servitude is actually the mortar that builds enduring love. At the heart of this discussion lies a painful but necessary truth. Pride doesn't protect women. It isolates them. The modern dating landscape has become a brutal arena where the rules have changed. Yet many women continue playing by an outdated script, written by ego rather than strategy. They cling to the belief that they shouldn't have to adapt, that men should simply accept them as they are, that effort is beneath them. But love has never worked that way. Relationships have always required compromise, self-awareness, and above all, humility. The tragedy is that pride disguises itself as self-respect when in reality, it's often just fear in disguise. Fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, fear of realizing that perhaps you're not as exceptional as you've been told. This fear paralyzes women into inaction, waiting instead of pursuing, criticizing instead of understanding, demanding instead of giving. And while they wait, the best men get taken by women who were brave enough to swallow their pride and do what needed to be done. This isn't about surrendering your worth. It's about redefining what worth actually means in the context of lasting love. Worth isn't just about what you demand. It's about what you offer. A high-value man doesn't commit to a woman because she withholds affection until he earns it. He commits because she proves, through her actions, that she's capable of being a true partner. That means meeting his needs as surely as you expect him to meet yours. That means understanding that love isn't a power struggle. It's a collaboration. The women who succeed in love aren't the ones who rigidly enforce arbitrary standards. They're the ones who recognize that flexibility is strength, that adaptability is intelligence, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go of the need to always be right. They understand that pride might win arguments, but it loses relationships. So ask yourself, is your pride really worth more than love? Is it worth more than companionship, than warmth, than having someone who cherishes you? Because the cold reality is this: the world doesn't care about your ego. Time doesn't care. Biology doesn't care. And the men you want certainly don't care. They'll simply move on to women who were wise enough to prioritize happiness over pride. The choice is yours. You can cling to your pride and watch life pass you by, or you can loosen your grip and finally let love in. But choose quickly, because while pride waits forever, opportunity doesn't.